What's up, it's Chris. Today we're talking audio and specifically my favorite recorder, the Zoom H6. That's this right here. We're gonna talk about why this is my favorite thing to record audio on. And if you guys know anything about me, you know that I like gear and gadgets and stuff that makes my projects look and sound as good as they possibly can. Now we all know that audio is important. In a video, people really respond to audio, and the first way to make people lose faith in the video is with crappy audio. We've all heard some video that doesn't have great audio. Right now, you're hearing audio off, which probably isn't that great, off of the camera, which is the Rode Video Micro, going into the Sony a6500 right now, and I use this Zoom H6 primarily for recording my podcast. And the podcast is typically a two-person interview, and a lot of times I can get away with just setting this. If the two of us are talking, I can set this thing here. The XY microphones, I set it to the wider setting so it captures kind of everything that's in front of the microphones, and I can capture the two people if it's a quiet enough room. If not, I have this really probably the most inexpensive microphone that you can possibly buy, and it's the Behringer something or other, and you get these in a pack of 3 actually, and it's like $40 for 3 of them, so it's like a little bit more than $10 a piece for these things. And we'll go through a run here of comparing audio from the Rode Video Micro, which you're listening to right now. We'll go through to compare that, which is going straight into the camera, to the Zoom, which is here, and then we'll check out the really inexpensive Behringer. Again, this is I usually use this for my podcast, but this is amazing because you have the XY mic, and it comes with different capsules that you can put onto the top. Those things come right off. And then you have 4 additional XLRs on the side. So right now we're just running 1 XLR, but if you were recording a podcast and you had 4 people talking, you could run 4 XLRs into this, and each one of those tracks can record onto a separate wave file. So then if your levels are a little bit off, you're not recording onto just one file. Each one of those each one of those inputs of the microphone has its own track. Then when you bring your tracks into I edit my podcast in Adobe Audition, I bring each one of those. If there was 4 people, each one of those people would have a separate track, and I can mix there. If one person was just talking way louder, if one person just was had the mic way down here, like when they checked out when they sound check, they were here, and then throughout the thing they drifted down here. I can bring that up, and it won't affect all of the channels. So that's pretty sweet. And this thing is amazing. I've had it for a couple years now. It's perfectly durable. It goes everywhere with me, and it's amazing. Again, you can cover the XY mic. A lot of times just that microphone right there is good enough. So we'll do a little test here to show you how the sound is. So we'll just keep this right here. I barely even checked this. We'll just see how it goes. And so we'll switch it right now over to the Zoom H6. So you're hearing my voice go into the Zoom H6 right now, and you can see that's about a foot or so away, where you would normally, most people probably wouldn't be talking into it right up here because it'll start to get a little bit crazy. But if you even bring your thing about here, that's probably about maybe more like 2 feet away, and you can hear what that sounds like. And most of the time when I do voiceovers for videos or something, I'll be right in this area. I'll keep that so it doesn't feel too powerful. If you get right up close, it'll be really crazy powerful, and if you get a little too far away, it'll be not powerful enough. It'll feel a little weak. So that's audio into the Zoom H6 with the XY microphones, and then we will switch over to the Behringer. Again, you can get a pack of 3 of these microphones for under $40. Link to all these products are in the description. And I put this little foam screen on there just to help with some pops, some P's and things. So right now. So now you're hearing the Behringer mic. I don't even know what the model number is of this. Again, you can buy these things for a couple dollars, and you get a pack of 3 of them, and they're actually pretty awesome. Like, you'll be able to hear the difference for sure, but when you're stuck in a bind and you need, like, if you're doing like a multi-person interview and you just don't have a proper like studio setup, these things plugged into something like this, like a Zoom H6 or a similar recorder, will get by. You'll get by with audio that you can definitely use. You can hear this right here. You know, if you get somebody that, just to give you an idea, would be a little bit off the microphone. Sometimes people, when you're interviewing, they don't know that the microphone needs to be near your face, and they do this, and then you can hear how that doesn't work so well. But most people will be right here. So that's the audio from the Behringer, and it sounds okay. I actually use this. I use 2 of these or 3 of these oftentimes when I'm recording my podcast, when I'm like out on the go, and we've recorded my podcast in everything from my van to bathrooms at venues, to closets in venues, or like backstage areas when I'm interviewing entertainers. So we just got to use what we got to use. So it's like the audio is never going to be perfect anyway, because we're in loud spaces. So it's like, this is fine for me to use. So again, we'll kick over. How about we go right now back over to the Zoom H6 audio. So that's recording my voice right there. If you want to start a podcast or something, you know, you don't need this gear or microphones or whatever you have really is going to be the best thing. You know, it's the same thing with photography, and I hear all kinds of people talking about how they want to buy an expensive camera or something, and they're waiting to get started. And it's just like, use whatever you have. If you want to start a podcast, open up your phone and open the voice memos or whatever the voice recording app is, and like talk to your friends, and then you can post that as a podcast. But if you're looking for something better and something to give you a little bit of a cleaner, crisper sound, the Zoom H6 is the way to go. You see everyone using it, from people like me who are doing like a 1 to a couple person operation of recording podcasts, like in in closets at venues, to like bigger productions that are running like full sound operations. A lot of people are using this as its ultimate mobile solution. So cool. Let's switch right now back to the Rode Video Micro. That'll be linked as well in the bottom if you want to check out that microphone. Is awesome for just kind of like, it can just always be on your camera because it's so small, and you can pop that in and get much better audio than what would be just on your camera. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you do want to hear my podcast, go to chrisruggiero.com/podcast, or type in the Between Dreams podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, whatever. You know, it's on Spotify. You can just go listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts. And I talk with entertainers and travelers and authors, and kind of try to get to know what made them able to get out there and make stuff happen. I'm really interested in sharing those stories to inspire you to get out there and make whatever it is that you're thinking about doing. You got to go do it. You got to get started. That's all that matters. Don't worry about all this gear. If you do care about the gear, leave me a comment below. If you host a podcast or record audio, why don't you tell me what your favorite piece of audio gear is in a comment. And maybe you're just getting started. What's your dream audio setup for recording podcasts or recording audio for your videos? That's it. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section, and we'll answer them on an upcoming video. That's it. Thank you, and goodbye.